Coming up on the Interludes Podcast, a career coach, an author, and someone who's had her stilettos on the ground for over 25 years. It's the Interludes Podcast with Val the Voice Johnson, starting right now. The Interludes Podcast,
a Pure Lighthouse production.
This episode is brought to you by PureLighthouseMedia.com, home to the book, A DJ Saved My Life, where the ABCs of podcasting and the personal memoir come together perfectly. If you want to start your podcast journey, schedule a 15-minute call with me, research our podcasting blog tips. It's all on our fully remodeled website today.
And now, all the way from the south side of Chicago, give it up for your host, Val the Voice Johnson.
Hey everyone, it's another edition of the Interludes Podcast, and I'm your host, Val the Voice Johnson. So glad you could join me. You know what? I want to introduce, I love meeting other entrepreneurs in this space, and we met in person last year at the podcast summit. I'm a part of a business cohort that's in the process of going through an evolution, but I'm always happy to hear people that want to help other leaders become leaders in their space. She has over 25 years of leadership experience, and that covers across non-for-profit, corporate, technical, higher education. She has spoken on many stages, and she has a book that I just got, hashtag Trust the Process. And she is going to be doing some workshops for inspiring women and men. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to go ahead and introduce you all to Janice Coleman. Hi.
Hi, Val. How are you today?
I am blessed and highly favored. If I complained, it would be a sin.
I know what you mean. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's kind of how that would go. Oh my gosh. I'm grateful that you agreed to chat with me on this morning. And I think what comes to mind right now is I have to lay the land for you all. When I see Janice in the mornings during our business cohort time, she's got her camera on. There's a traditional signature of red representing the Delta sorority that she's a part of. And I'm thinking about all of the years. I used to love her pitch. She says, I have 25 plus years with stilettos on the ground. And I love that because I was just thinking, I now see someone with heels. Now, here's this. Take us back to the beginning. What first led you into leadership development? Because that's a very fancy Nancy name to put out between people. But what first led you to that and executive coaching work?
Leadership development became important to me in my first professional career, which was in IT. I had a director who was a fiery woman, and she demanded that we did what we were paid to do. She didn't do it in a harsh way, but she wanted us to stand up and be held accountable and to hold people that we led accountable. So she helped us to garner the leadership skills that we needed to do our job. But then inside of me, as a person who loves to teach, I began to teach the things that I knew.
Oh, wow. And what's one of the fun things you love teaching about leadership?
One of the fun things would be that everything, as John Maxwell would say, rises and falls on leadership. So good leadership, usually good team. Bad leadership, usually a challenged team, right? And he also incorporated the fact that if you are not a good leader, you usually have something to lose, prove, or hide.
Huh.
And we use our leadership to either empower people or overpower people. And so to help people to feel that overpowering people is not what we want to do is one of my favorite things about teaching leadership.
Yeah, I needed you probably about 7 or 8 years ago when I was dealing with folks that kept trying to overpower me in my corporate situations in New York. I'm not calling out no names. I'm not going to call out no names. We'll just let that go.
Where were you when I needed you last night, right?
Exactly. When I was going through and I think some people talk about having leadership fatigue where
Yes.
they're learning those lessons and they aren't trying to overpower. They're actually leading with, I want to call it clarity. And
Yes.
also then there's also that performance pressure, and then managers, people that are in corporate, they're fighting to be promoted. But here's the thing, from what you have experienced and seen over the years, what are some of the biggest leadership challenges organizations, corporations, and leaders are facing right now, especially in this very interesting time of our history?
Times, right. I believe that leaders really are challenged with having a set of values that are not necessarily matching the organization that they are working with and or for. And so the incongruency creates leadership fatigue, because you have to lead and you have to represent, but you're almost like you're putting on a mask in order to say and or do what the leadership insists you say and or do. But in your heart, you want to help the people in a way that's not really aligned with what the corporation is trying to do.
Yeah. And I read a book that was teaching me that the human resources department, the HR department, is literally put in place to protect the organization. You agree with that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I do.
And I think that sometimes organizations and corporations have to go through major turnarounds, especially if there was, I guess, leadership at the very top that wasn't working. When you look at your career so far, what impact are you most proud of and why?
The impact that I really tout is the opportunities that I've had to work with amazing leaders, whether they were established or high potentials, and helping them to develop the skills that can get them in a place of feeling established, not necessarily from a promotability standpoint, but from a stability standpoint, that they stand flat-footed on this.
Right.
And I'm good with me because I do the things that are right, and I know exactly what I should be doing in order to perform and deliver the product or service that I am asked to deliver.
Yeah. And when you're faced with giving either lessons or speeches in front of folks, and you're talking to prospective job seekers or folks that are looking to either upgrade where they were, or they're just doing something unilaterally, they're just going from one place to the next, what advice that comes from you repeatedly from the stage regarding how people that are looking to either stay in their career go, or doing just I need to change corporations because I need to make that change for myself?
Right.
What's kind of your advice that comes from you from the stage?
Well, that's where my book comes in, which is trust the process. Trust the process. Do what you are supposed to do. Be the person you're supposed to be, because we both know, Val, you have to be so that you can do, and you have to do so that you can have. So if you're trying to have, but you're not being, you can't do what you should do. That sounds a little convoluted. I'll say it again. If you are trying to have what you want, but you're not being the person who can do the thing, then you're going to be disappointed. You're going to feel like you're in the struggle. But when you are seeking to be a good person, you're seeking to be diligent, disciplined, you're seeking to manage your time properly, you're seeking to be courageous, you're seeking to do all of those things, it naturally unfolds into you being able to do the right thing so that you can get the thing you need to have for the person you are right now.
Wow. And I guess that's great advice. But here's the thing. If you think back to your very first job, your very, very first job, what was some of the best advice you got when starting? And I'm talking like your first corporate job where you.
Okay. Corporate job. Because girl, we've been working since we
were 14. I was definitely working in my teens. So I just had to make sure I clarified that.
Yes,
so your first corporate.
The biggest thing during that time, which again was when I became an information technology professional, was accuracy. Accuracy. And also, we use this word transparency, and I understand it, but I don't know if transparency is exactly what I mean, but we had to be forthright. If there's a problem, tell us there's a problem.
Right.
But accuracy was so important. And I think that helped me that gave me a good foundation to build other skills on top of that. So that as I moved in different spaces in the corporation and in corporate America overall, accuracy was always one of the mainstays of how you're going to know Janice delivered it. It was definitely accurate.
Oh, okay. And I think it's important never to place blame on others. You want to make sure that you take the onus on. If there's something wrong, you report it because it can get solved, right?
Yeah. And if it's, and unfortunately, and I think this still holds true and probably to a larger degree now, that dishonest people who are deciding they're not going to be the person they need to be, are always going to find people or seek to find people that they can leverage as a patsy, somebody they can throw under the bus when they don't do their job. And in corporate America, you just had to learn how to cover your assets.
A very wise way of saying that. I must say.
And Val, I say assets because our ability to generate income and revenue is one of the biggest assets we have. And if you let somebody who is conniving or just not doing what they should do undermine you, you lose your ability to generate one of the biggest assets you have. So we have to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people, they get fatigued with the game that is being in corporate America, knowing how to, either placate your leaders or making sure that you handle things with accuracy, or you fight for the raise, and or if you get ignored, then you're like, okay, I have to dust off my resume. And I think the new resume today would be LinkedIn. How powerful is that platform for people that are seeking either career changes or to promote their brand?
Their brand. So there's several different types of people on LinkedIn. And it's important for us to decide what the type of person we're going to be on that platform.
There you go.
So that we know what to do. So if you are a job seeker, your profile needs to really align with what you've done, where you want to go, and it just needs to be as pristine as possible. It's not as formal as a resume.
Okay.
But it should give people a sense of what you've done, but not everything on your resume, because you want them to call you. You don't want to give them everything, right? So you have the job seeker, then you have the watcher, who may never do anything with their profile, but they're always watching. Then you have people like yourself and me who are promoting their brand, and we are seeking to generate income using the platform. So we have to operate, it's a marketing thing, and we have to operate in a different way. Then you have people like Uncle Warren Buffett.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the KeySpot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. KeySpot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. KeySpot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
Types of people there, and we have to align with the strategy that keeps us in the space where we want to be and do the thing that we need to do.
Yeah. So I think that's important to make sure that you're able to do that and be, I want to call it sharp and transparent. I think those two qualities definitely get you looked at, hired, or booked as a speaker or beyond. It's all of those things wrapped up. Now here on the Interludes Podcast, we always connect music, culture, and life. And for me, I have favorite songs that help inspire me. I told you just before the interview, I was feeling a little not so happy and not so inspired. And then I put on Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. As long as you keep your head to the sky. It's one of my favorites that lifts me out of a low vibration. I'll just put it like that.
Gotcha.
For you, if you had to choose a song that represents your leadership or entrepreneurship journey, and the song, it might be different, that inspires you when the vibration is not at a prominent
where it needs
level.
to be, right?
Yeah, where it needs to be. What are those songs, or what is that song and why?
Okay. So the one that's one of my favorite songs of all times is The Best Is Yet to Come.
Oh.
In all three genres. Right?
Okay.
You got the big band, which I believe is Tony Bennett.
Okay.
Then you have Donald Lawrence, The Best Is Yet to Come. And then you have two Philadelphia greats, which is Grover Washington and Patti LaBelle. So three different genres of The Best Is Yet to Come, all saying the same thing, but coming from three different standpoints. Patti LaBelle talking about love. Oh, actually, Tony Bennett's talking about love too. And then Donald Lawrence is talking about what God is going to do. So all three of those genres together are just, and I can listen to any one of those at any given time and be excited. Like my fight song playlist, and I can't even give you all of the songs because we might be here for a while, but just songs that say to me when the vibration is low or when I need to take it to the next level, that girl, you can do this. Girl, you can do this. You know, This Girl Is on Fire is one of them.
It's a good one.
Get Ready or Unstoppable.
Okay. These are all, I mean, these are all great songs. And Alicia Keys is Girl on Fire. So that's one
Yes.
of my favorites as well.
Yes.
So I like that. What woman or women have greatly inspired you in your leadership journey, and what did you learn from them that still guides you to this day?
I'm going to say my high school, which is an all girls school, still is to this day, Philadelphia High School for Girls. And when I went there, because I'm born and raised in inner city, North Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And when I went there, I was coming from such a small place of only knowing what I knew and knowing who I knew. Okay. And I went there to this academic high school that had women or girls from all over the city. And we were all smart. We had wonderful people like Jill Scott, who was a graduate from my high school. And I look at all of these women who now, we're 40 plus years later, having graduated, who have done phenomenal things. Doctors, lawyers, artists, psychiatrists, people who have been in the military. And that, to me, to have those people right at my fingertips is so inspiring that I can rest on the fact that I know, yes, we have been able to conquer and do the things that we've been born to do. So that's what inspires me.
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of Jill Scott. And I have to say that Philadelphia is kind of known for, I feel like it's a historical town, but then there's so many cultural references to the stairs you run up to where you see Rocky. I think Bell is there. Yeah, like there's a lot. I've been to Philly a couple of times.
Philadelphia cheesesteak, the Philadelphia cheesesteak, Billy Penn.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
And don't forget that everything is a John.
What does that mean?
It means anything you want to mean. JAWN. That's a Philadelphia word. If you hear somebody using that word on a regular basis, they're from Philly or they have Philadelphia family. Because give me that John. I was looking at that John. It's a Philadelphia word.
Wow. I just got some cultural education about Philly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. My son even made a pepper spread, a red pepper spread, and he called it the Pepper John.
Okay. All right. I think I'm getting hungry now. We're going to keep it moving. I can't pause and think about that, but that's fun. Here we go. For someone listening or watching right now, and they are starting out on their entrepreneurship journey, or they're starting out on their work journey, and they're coming up as an emerging leader and someone who wants to necessarily grow in leadership, what advice would you give them as they move to their next level of responsibility?
The advice I would give them is to decide what their North Star is and how it applies to the 5 F's of life, which is faith, fitness, meaning your well-being, family and friends, finance, and fun. So how does that North Star lead all 5 of those areas? And then focus intently on 1 or 2 goals in those areas on a regular basis to help to lead you and to help to guide you. Because there will be things that are going to come and knock you off your square, 100%. There are things that are going to come and knock you off your square. But Les Brown said, as long as you fall on your back, if you can look up, you can get up. and I really believe that life changes. So don't be afraid of change, because it's the only thing dependable on planet Earth. Change. We have to be able to be the change before the change makes us change, if that makes sense. And that way we will be able to do the things that we need to do. Get around smart people and don't be afraid of the smarter people. And don't allow any person to make you feel that you're less than, because you're more than enough. You just have to work at it, trusting the process.
The Rise, NIL. What are we? We're a sports marketing company brought to you in 2023, helping all of our athletes unleash their potential. We're in the sports world because what? The NIL, name, image, and likeness, is where the athletes play. So in order to do that, we want to make sure we help them maximize their earning potential, along with the brands that operate with them. So if you need to know some more information and how you can be a part of The Rise, reach out to us at information@therise.com or type in www.therisenil.com.
Pull up podcast, pull up. It's the pull up podcast. It's the pull up podcast. It's the pull up podcast. Pull up. Val's the voice and Coach Tony, you know. It's the pull up podcast.
That's a great segue to go ahead and wrap up my time with you, Janice. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And if more people want to find out about your book, Trust the Process, or if you have some workshops that are coming up, where would they go?
Well, Trust the Process, you can find that book at, here we go, trusttheprocesswithjanice.com.
I like that. Okay.
Hey,
Hey everyone, it's Val the Voice. We interrupt this wonderful episode to ask a question. Are you subscribed and liking this particular episode? Well, we want to make sure that you are following us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we want to continue to give you great content just like this. All right, I'm so sorry. Let's get back to the episode right now.
Fill the gaps of personal leadership so that they can lead others. Most people want to be in the front, but they still have things that are holding them back from being effective. And that class is entitled, You Are the First Team. And you can find information about that at leadwithjanice.com.
All right. And you made it simple.
Hey, look, I'm going for simplicity. It's too many things that are complex, Val. Too many.
Oh my gosh. Janice Coleman, thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the Interludes Podcast. It has been a pleasure. And like I said, people can learn a lot from those who have blazed a trail in leadership, corporate America, and beyond.
Thank you so much, Val. Greatly appreciate you, my friend.
I'm Val the Voice Johnson, and this is the Interludes Podcast. The Interludes Podcast.
Original concept by Valerie Johnson.
Sports segments for Talk on Tuesdays, produced by Coach Tony Thompson.
Original intro and outro music produced by Kendall Nesbitt.
The Interludes Podcast, a Pure Lighthouse production. This episode is brought to you by our brand new website, PureLighthouseMedia.com, the official home of A DJ Saved My Life, where the ABCs of podcasting meet personal transformation. And now available in print. Order your signed copy today and discover how finding your voice can change your life. Are you a business or entrepreneur looking to promote your work through a dynamic podcasting platform? Partner with us through sponsorship and marketing opportunities. Your message belongs in front of our audience. Got that $1 million podcast idea, but don't know where to start? Whether you need a coach, a guide, or a full-on producer, I'm here to walk you through the process and bring your podcast vision to life. Visit PureLighthouseMedia.com today to get your book, book your consultation, or connect with us about sponsorship. Let's grow together.